Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For our radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, joining us online worldwide via our podcast at Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We're glad you all could be with us as well. You guys know I love anything dealing with entertainment and messaging, and so our next two guests, when I first found out about the project they worked on together, I was really excited for the opportunity to speak with them. We're excited to welcome Gairo Cuevas to our broadcast today, as well as Wyatt Tithof. Gairo is actually a filmmaker. Wyatt is an actor, and they work together on a project called It's Just Pizza. We're going to talk to them not only about their love of storytelling through entertainment, but also how the idea for the short film It's Just Pizza came about, and also let you guys know how to stay connected with them as well. Thanks to the two of you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate the time today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Look, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Gairo, I want to begin with you. The great thing for our audience is that this film is free. It is free for them to be able to see on your website, and we're going to be able to give them that a little bit later. But I want to talk to you about what the response has been like. What has it been like for you to see the way that people have been responding to It's Just Pizza?
It's been really fun. I emailed it to a lot of people at work. When I released it, and they send me back a bunch of emails, nice replies, and it's just nice when you think of an idea in your head and you're really alone with it, and then you put it out in the world, and all of a sudden, like, it kind of doesn't become, it's not yours anymore. You know, it belongs to everyone who sees it, and everyone has just been really happy. They love the one take aspect of it. They love the two actors, and Wyatt and Bella are so good in it. I think really they're the ones who bring the movie to life, because you have, in a short movie like this, which is like less than 5 minutes, you don't have a lot of time to really captivate an audience, and I think their performances really just hook you from the beginning, and they just jump off the screen. So I think they're the highlight for sure. Just them just bringing these characters to life. It was so wonderful to see them say the words that I wrote and go, oh yeah, like they're doing it much better than what I had envisioned in my head. But yeah, the response has been positive. It's been really nice from people who have seen it, that just they really embrace the movie and really like it.
Yeah, Gairo, what I thought was so interesting when I was prepping for this segment with the two of you is that storytelling is something that you obviously enjoy. You enjoy, the creative process, but you're not afraid of creating pieces that also spark conversation. So what has that been like for you to be able to balance not only creating something that's entertaining, but also to get people to talking and thinking as well?
Oh, man, that's a good question. It's only been recently, just a few years ago, I really started to think more about the world, and I think it happened when my first kid was born, where I started to kind of think outside of myself. I feel like all these little movies that I've directed, these little short films throughout my life that I've directed, they've kind of always been a mirror about like how I see myself, how I see the world. And every character's always like become a little part of me, and I think Morgan, the guy, played by Wyatt, there was a little part of me in his character of like, I used to be ignorant to politics, I used to be ignorant to the world beyond me, and so like lately I've just realized like, oh no, like you really have to pay attention to what's going on in the world, because I think that's what helps you become a better storyteller, because then that's how you can connect with someone out there instead of just thinking about what is it about me that I like or me that I don't like, and what is it about what's going on in the world, whether it be healthcare or child care, climate change. There's just, gun control, gun safety. My wife is a teacher, so I worry about her safety now that my 4-year-old or 3-year-old is a preschooler. I worry about her safety going to school. So I think that just thinking about the world has really allowed me to, I hope, become not necessarily a better storyteller, but one that's more aware of what's going on in the world, and be able to kind of spin a little message into whatever story that I write, and hopefully it resonates and sparks some sort of conversation with people. Because easily the movie could have been about being upset with Morgan that he cheated on her. Like, that could have been one direction. But it was like, no, like, what if he just doesn't vote? And what if, like, Morgan's character is very selfish, so of course, like, why would he vote? And Anna is very much about other people, so like, of course she cares about voting. She cares about the world, and so I think that's initially where it's like, well, I find that more fascinating than just a breakup story about someone cheating on someone else. And I think that goes to me of like, it goes beyond the people and it goes out into the world.
Yeah, such a great point. Wyatt, so glad that you could join us. Again, great job, and It's Just Pizza. And again, we're going to remind our audience how they can be able to see it. Wyatt, I want to ask you, I was asking Gairo about the response. What has it been like for you to see the way that people have responded to not only your role in It's Just Pizza, but the project in general?
Sure. Well, my dad posted it to Facebook because he always does stuff like that, and my relatives liked it, which was nice. And Gairo sent Bella and I, who played Anna, just some feedback from his coworkers, which was really nice to hear that people enjoyed it. Because for me, I mean, it was just such a kind of, I was home back from college. I go to school in Los Angeles, so I was home in Marin County, and Bella was like, "Hey, can you help me with the self-tape?" And I was like, "Sure." So I did it, and then she was like, you might as well just, I talked to the director, you might as well just be in this movie. And I was like, okay, cool. So it was kind of, at the left field kind of thing. So I was so shocked that it was, we just filmed it and it was done. It was a quick shoot, and to hear positive feedback is always such a nice thing. And Gairo did a great job. I mean, the script is phenomenal. It's so conversational. So as an actor, like, that's really the best kind of script you can get, one that doesn't really require a lot of, the feedback's been great.
Well, I want to stick with you for a second, Wyatt, because I think what's so fascinating, I've been doing this show for a while, and I love being able to interview, especially when it comes to actors, those who get to play the good guy and those who get to play the not-so-good guy. In this short film, even though it is short, you people, I think, will come away as being seen as the quote-unquote bad guy, right? You're kind of the antagonist in this. How much fun was that, though, for you to bring that to life?
So, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I love playing the bad guys. It's always so fun. And it's so interesting because he's not a bad guy because of malintent. He's a bad guy because of ignorance, So that's always the kind of extra step that you have to kind of take in as an actor. Like, okay, well, he doesn't mean to be bad. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't vote because he didn't care, So, I mean, that kind of ties into the whole message about voting, especially now with, everything that's going on. I think... I think it was nice to kind of give out a message as that character.
Yeah, and what I thought, too, is I'm so glad you said that, Wyatt, because one of the things I thought about is that, and this is the great thing about entertainment, right, is that it kind of holds up a mirror to all of us in a lot of ways, because I love the way that you said that he's not a bad guy because of anything sinister. It's just the way he looks at the world and deals with situations. A lot of people, I think, can relate to that, thinking it's not such a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal, But, knowing that there could be feelings on the other side of that, though, that is the funny thing. So you mentioned that how you kind of found out about it when you were asked to be a part of it. I mean, what was going through your mind?
Well, yeah, like I said, I've known Bella, who played Anna, for a while. I've known her since I was 15 years old or something. And I was just home from school over summer break, and she was like, "Hey, can you help me with the self-tape?" So I drove up to her house. Like, sure, So I read the part off screen while she was being filmed, and she submitted it, I guess. And she called me, I want to say like 2 days after, and she was like, "Hey, I got the part, and he liked what you did as well. So do you want to? He's offering you the role." And I was like, "Sure, yeah, that's great. I'm in." So then we just had. We just rehearsed it a few times, just me and her, before the actual shoot. And the first time I actually met Gairo in person was on the shoot, and it was great. We shot it 5 minutes from my house, so it wasn't like a long commute or anything, and shot it outside of the library that I grew up going to, so it was a really familiar place. And it was just such a cool shoot because he allowed for so much freedom. It's a one-take thing, so it's the idea that it's almost like theater. Like, if you screw it up, you kind of just got to keep going. Like, and watching the film, there are some lines I can tell that I'm like, oh my god, that wasn't the exact line, but he kept it in. So it was almost like a guerrilla style shoot, and I really loved it. It wasn't like this big elaborate set. It was a real, bare bones kind of thing, which made it so much more authentic, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to ask you then, Jairo, for yourself, because that is one of the things when this segment was pitched to me. That was one of the things I found was fascinating. It being one of these one take short films. Did you know going in you wanted to shoot it that way, or is that just the way it evolved?
Oh yeah, I always had this idea that I wanted to shoot a film all continuous from beginning to end in just one long take. But I was waiting for the right camera to come to place, because I kind of wanted to do it all on my own, just because of scheduling and all that. Like, I didn't have time to hire a focus puller and a camera assistant, and I also don't have the money. If someone can do it for free, like, that'd be great. But then what if they take a job that pays? So then it's like, oh, I'm kind of left on my own. So I've always wanted to shoot a movie that way. And when a certain camera came out that I used at work, I started using it. I was like, oh, this is the camera that I've been waiting for, where I can just kind of do it all on my own, and I can make little mistakes, and it might be fine, because I think that'll just add to the story itself. And I also like Wyatt said, it's almost like theater, and I welcome like the little I welcome the mistakes, even though they might not be mistakes to me, of like the little ad-libbing, or maybe the pauses. Or maybe you can see someone like thinking, wait, what's the next line? But like all I saw was just like greatness on screen with these two. And I really wanted to have the story unfold from beginning to end and without cutting, and showing the evolution of emotions from beginning to end in a way that just didn't have to be shaped or formed through cutting or editing.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, without giving anything away, and we're going to let our audience know, of course, that they can watch it, Jairo, that end credit scene, and you even have an end credit scene for that, which I was surprised about, but once again didn't cast Wyatt's character in the best of, like, considering what we just saw witness. What was, was that something that was also planned, or just something that, because of the way the story was going, you decided to put in?
Yeah, so that was originally, that was all part of the take.
Okay.
And originally I had that end credit scene before the credits, but I really loved sort of like the way it ends now, that I thought like, oh, like that kind of kills that kind of just like kills the vibe a little bit of like the way that Bella storms off and Wyatt's just kind of looking like, oh, like, well, what the hell? Just kind of felt like a good place to cut it off. But I also loved what Wyatt did with calling the pizza place and doing what he did. And so I was like, well, what if I kind of bring that back? And I feel like it separates away from the movie itself, and it's just a nice little add-on that, I don't know how many people stay and watch credits. I do. I was trained in film school to sit through the credits. But it was just fun to add that little thing that Wyatt did so well. That still kind of felt close to the character of like, oh, yep, there he is. Like, how much did he really care about her, and how much was he just in it for the pizza?
Right. Hey, that's the age-old question these days, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Such a great conversation with you guys. So I should let our audience know, Jairo, I'm going to ask you to give the website up for our audience, but there are other short films there as well. Your decision to make these available free, how did you decide that you wanted to do that? Because, I'm sure there are people, I know I have purchased short films on sites like, on Prime Video and other places. What made you decide just to be able to make it available for people to watch and enjoy?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It never really crossed my mind, I guess. I don't know how valuable the stuff that I make is worthy of being purchased. I'm just like, I'll make these things. It's really for me to just train myself, to just kind of keep that muscle going of like, okay, if I'm able to finish something, then I'll just put it up for free. Like, it's not really me trying to make money off of it. Although maybe I will now. Maybe you planted that seed in my brain. Oh, maybe the next one I do.
I hope I have. I would pay for it on Prime Video.
Yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. I should think about that. But for now, it's just like, I just put them up and I move on. And I see where I just try to see where my creative brain and heart take me.
Love that. Well, with that being said, Wyatt, is there anything coming up that we should know about, or how can we stay connected with you to kind of find out what's coming up next for you?
Yeah, well, I'm a senior in college right now. My last year at an acting school, acting program, I guess. And I mean, yeah, we're just gonna. I've been, auditioning for some stuff just outside of school, in school. So we'll see how that goes. And my Instagram is Pink Tithof, Pink and then Tithof for anybody interested. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, Gairo, I appreciate the two of you coming on. Let our audience know the website, how they can be able to watch this film and others, and also any other places you'd like for them to stay connected with you.
Sure. Probably the easiest is my website, which is just my full name, JairoCuevas.com. I have my stuff on Vimeo as well, which is under my name, but really JairoCuevas.com is probably the best way to find the short film. It's just pizza and all the other ones. And I have to say, for any, casting director out there listening, or director, Wyatt and Bella are incredible actors. So hire them, get them on your projects. They just made my life super easy, and they just follow directions so well. And sometimes I didn't even have. I just as a director, I just sat back and just let them do their thing, and it was just such a magical thing to watch these two just perform together.
Love it. Love it. Well, look, this was a great conversation with the two of you. We've already linked your website, Gairo, up for our audience joining us on the podcast side. For those joining us on the radio side, we'll put it on our Facebook page. But looking forward to the two of you stopping by the program again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You were great. You were great, Cyrus. Thank you so much for this. This is
wonderful. Cyrus. This is awesome.
And look, I appreciate that. Looking forward to staying connected with the two of you for sure. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.